Hi, welcome back into the Den of Doom. I've just finished a turbo, and because I've done a lot of training recently and some big mileage in my running, the knees are starting to feel a little bit sore. So I want to make sure that my hamstrings and my quads are getting a really good stretch. So throughout this, I'm probably going to move the camera a few times and we'll see how we go. The door is clunking, so I'll close that in a second. Right, so I'm nice and warm, so hopefully you are too. If not, what I would recommend are doing sort of 10 deep squats. What that does, it'll bring the blood into your quads and your hamstrings and your glutes and get them ready for a bit of a stretch. It's 10 deep squats. That's all you really need to do our squats. Make sure we're sitting right back. 1, 2, nice stretch on the back as well as we do that. 3, I'll probably ache after 10 squats. 4, 5, 6. Now when you're squatting, make sure your feet are pointing out and your knees go out. 9 and 10. Okay, so they're getting ready for that action. I want to make sure that they are nicely stretched. So what I want you to do is put your foot out in front of you, sit back on the other leg and just leave that leg there. If that's too difficult, what you're going to do is you're just going to put it out there and bring it up. Okay, so on your one knee, okay, leg out in front of you, toe pulled up, feel the stretch going into that hamstring. Now what I want you to do is just sit back down on that. Okay, so that hamstring is getting a nice stretch and you're going to lean forwards at the hip. And then we're going to take it up again, lean forwards, stretching across that quad there and the hip flexor. So push that hip forward and then take it back. Remember, we're now stretching that hamstring. Lean forwards. And up we come again. Push through that hip flexor. Fantastic, well done. And again. So this is just, again, a warm up for your stretching. Keeping that toe pointed up. Just spotted a bruise on my leg. I don't know what I was doing on our run on Saturday. I must have clonked it on something. And one more. Okay. So you notice I'm not getting my head and my body down onto my knee or anything. Okay, all you need to do is feel a stretch. So push forwards first, stretch that hip flexor, then take it back. Oh, and this one is so much tighter with me. Okay, nice stretch. Feel it there. Hold it there. Nice flat back. Take it forwards. Push through the hip on the opposite side. Well done. And take it back nice and slowly. If this is as far as you go, that's fine, as long as you're feeling that stretch. Okay, pull your toe up so you've got tension throughout the entire leg. Feel the stretch. Take your body forwards, and only as far forward as you can till you feel a stretch. It doesn't have to be, like I said, you don't have to have your chest on there, you don't have to have your nose on your knee or anything. If you can feel a stretch, you are working that muscle. And then back again. That's feeling better already, starting to ease off. Bring your legs round to the front and just cross them. And all I want you to do is you're just going to do circles. So I tend to do this when I do my stretch and relax. So nice big circles. So we're going to loosen off that back before we go into any deeper stretches. So nice big circles. Let yourself rock from side to side on your butt bones. Your ischium, as it's known. and then the other way. So we're warming up, loosening off those lower back muscles, your glutes. Okay, so if you're getting pain in your knees, for example, okay, it's that whole kinetic chain of muscles that are tightening up. You tend to find that it's not just one muscle that will be tight, they'll all be tightening up. So what I want you to do from here is just lean forwards, place your hands out in front of you. Now I can feel a stretch in the glute of this leg that is out in front. I'm just going to breathe into that. And then back up again. I'm going to swap my legs over, lean forwards. You can get a lot further forward on this one because it's not as tight, but I can feel that stretch in that glute muscle. So what's happening when our knees are starting to give us pain is that our quads and our hamstrings are getting tight. Our glutes, our IT band, all of that is putting pressure on that knee joint. So we need to make sure that the whole kinetic chain of muscles is loose. So the first one we're going to work on are these big gluteal muscles. So what I want you to do is sit like this. I'd like to say sort of a Isle of Man kind of pose. I think it is on the coins. So what I want you to do then is just drop down, place your head on the floor and relax. So again, that glute should be feeling it, should be going into the hamstring as well. Okay, if you want to deepen the stretch, you take it across towards your toe and you can bring your foot further out. So it should be going right down that leg now. Okay, you can feel it in that glute, I can feel it coming down, I can feel it just behind the knee. Yeah. Just breathe and relax into it. Okie dokes, change sides, so same pose. I think it's the Isle, or is it the Isle of Wight? It might be the Isle of Wight, I think. Where the legs are all on the coin. I'll get a coin and show you at some point. And leaning forwards. Feel the stretch in that glute. It's not much of a stretch. Like I said, you can put your foot further out and you can come down towards your toes. Just bringing my foot further out is more than adequate to increase the stretch for me. Keep breathing through it. Feel that go down the leg, down the hamstring. Okay, it's on the outside of your leg, down the side, glute and hamstring. That's it, nice and relaxed, fantastic. Okay, cross leg again. We're going to use a foam roller as well today. So what I want to do is, what can often happen is that because the quads are working so much, you do break down. It's natural for your muscles to break down. And what we want to do is make sure that the muscle is flowing freely or moving freely underneath the IT band. So the way we do it is, the IT band is a massive tendon. It's not very pliable. You're not going to be able to stretch that a great deal. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the quad while putting pressure on that IT band. Okay, so we love a foam roller. Foam rollers always hurt, especially on IT band. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to roll up and roll down. Now I found the point that is most painful, so the first thing I'm going to do is breathe at this point. Okay, what happens when we breathe is our parasympathetic system kicks in, which is a parasympathetic nervous system, and it initiates a relaxed response. So breathing is really important. Now, what I'm going to do in order to get movement under the IT band is, as you can see here, I'm just going to move my leg. It's not pleasant, but what it does, it breaks down any points at which the muscle has adhered to that IT band. Oh, horrible. So I'm doing 3, and I move it slightly with each one. And I'm only putting as much pressure on there as I can bear. Okay, so I did 6 in total, and each time I moved the roller. So same on the other leg now. Okay, get it onto the point where it's quite sore. I'm more to the back of my IT band at this moment, more hamstring. And there it is. And I'm breathing. It's hard to relax when you're holding yourself up. And we're going to move. So there's 1. I'll move it down slightly. There's 2. And 1 more. There's 3. I'm going back up to where I was. And there's 1. And 2. And 3. And back up to where I was. Yowzers, that one is quite sore. So my left leg is sore, which makes sense because that big glute has been giving me gym. Probably about, how long have we been in lockdown? 8, 9 months now? Okay, so same thing again, but this time I'm going to go to the top of this quadricep, or not top, the anterior side, which is the front. So more front. Again, super painful, super horrible. So our vastus lateralis is the name of that one. Okay, so in order to get that, I'm going to roll. I've got my back to you, sorry everybody. And same thing, you're going to just bend and straighten. Move it, bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Roll it back up. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. And the other side. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Yeah, left is far more painful than the right. Now I'm going to roll on the front. Okay, we have done some basic stretching of the quad, but not massive. So before we roll on the front, I'd like to get a little bit more of a stretch in that. So the stretch I'm going to use today is going to use the physio ball or the wall, whichever you've got handy. So my physio ball keeps deflating overnight, so it may not be very effective. I'm going to put that up against the wall so it doesn't roll away. What you do is you put your foot, you put a pillow or cushion or something under your knee, nice and soft. I'm really lucky because I've got these super duper mats. You put your foot up on there and you just push through with the hip. Now what we're stretching here is we're stretching through the hip flexor. One of those main hip flexor muscles, the rectus femoris, or quad muscles, is one of your major quad muscles, okay? It's the only one, however, that crosses that hip joint. So if your hips are starting to tighten up, then your rectus femoris will be tightening up as well. And then, like I say, it's putting undue pressure on your knee and your kneecap, which can ultimately give you that tendinitis. So feel yourself just sinking into that as you come through. Push forwards with that glute. Get that stretch in that hip flexor. Again, you could just use a solid wall for this, it's not an issue. And breathe through it. Remember, breathing is essential. Okay, and swapping legs. So this is one way of doing this stretch. I quite like this stretch. I feel it works really well for me, but not always all stretches work equally well for everyone. So please, play around with it, see what stretches work for you. Okay, I just need to take myself a little bit further forward, or maybe a little bit closer to my ball. Okay, that's it, good. To get a better stretch, fantastic, I can feel that. Pushing forwards with that hip. The beauty of this is you do get a really good purchase on the muscle. Keep that pelvis tilted, that's it. Push through the glute. Actually, when I put my hand on there, you can feel the stretch increasing. Keep your hips facing forwards throughout. Don't let them twist, you'll lose the stretch. Okay, I'm not doing any sort of counts as such, but that's really important that maybe, you know, anything over 30 seconds is developmental. There's no science to say that any going on for any longer will help you anymore. Just keep it regular. Keep it regular. Okay, so there's that for your quad stretch. Another quad stretch that I quite like to do is out to the side. Okay, I'll go this way. So you go out to the side, and again, you tilt that hip. You can do it this way, you can have that one there, and you can just focus on one leg, push that hip. But this one's a little bit more difficult because you've really got to focus on pushing the knee down while lifting that hip up, making sure you've got a good pelvic tilt on that. Just swap legs. So again, it's our Isle of Man pose. Legs going everywhere. Push that down. I mean, what you will find is if you use a combination of these quad stretches, you're actually stretching the quad from different angles. And as the quad suggests, there are 4 muscles in there. So their origins and insertions are in different places. Okay, so they're all coming through that kneecap ultimately, but the direction in which they're pulling on the knee, okay, you have the vastus, you've got intermedius coming through the centre here, okay, you've got your rectus femoris coming through the centre, and then you've got your medialis and your lateralis coming either side. And they will be putting pressure on that knee from different angles. So it's really important that you focus on that. So we sort of talking IT band a moment ago. TFL is here. So if you've got pain in this bending area here, that again can be causing an issue, and it can be tightening the IT band if it's not relaxed. So what we're going to do once more is, I'm going to let the dog in, he's going to keep barking. What we're going to do once more, oh here we go. Boys, behave, out the way. Lie down, lie down, good boy. On your bed, on your bed. Don't you just love them? Okay, so what you've got for your TFL, same thing with our roller, is we're going to roll, we're going to get on it, so we need a slight tilt, I'll come towards you first, slight tilt on that, quite high up, and we're just going to bring the leg back and relax it. And back, and relax. Roll it. Top of my quad is quite sore there. Again, bringing my leg up. And relax. Ugh. Up and relax. The dog just fell off the mat. God bless him. Okay, up and relax. And I'll swap sides. Same thing. Take your time with this. It's not an overnight remedy. It's going to take a while to loosen off those muscles. Okay, roll it, like I said, until you feel where it's sore. Bring it back and relax. Hello. Oh, yes. Yes. And relax. And hopefully you can see, boys, on your beds, please. Come on now. Only one actually listens. And then you can see there's a little bit of a rebellious lilt on it. Hopefully you're bending and relaxing as we're doing this. Okay, loosening off those quads, really, really important. But it's important, like I said, that we release all the muscles that we've got there. Okay, so now what we've done is we've loosened off the glutes, we've loosened off our quads and our hamstrings, and we have worked our TFL, which will all impact on how that knee joint is being affected. So fingers crossed, with regular use of this, it doesn't have to be super painful, it doesn't have to be for too long, just a few of those stretches, but every day. Consistent stretching is the same as consistent training. It all mounts up and there is a cumulative effect. consistent loves is always good as well, isn't it? Thanks once again for joining me. Hopefully those knees are getting better, and we will see you once again in the Den of Doom very soon, I'm sure. Take care now. Bye-bye.